Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again, and I am here today to review Hell's Kitchen, Season 23, Episode 3. Sorry, excuse me, Episode 2. I apologize. I am so used to TV shows airing like 2 episodes in the first week. So I apologize. But anyways, first off, and I wrote a bunch of notes, and probably a lot of them are going to be useless because I'm not one of those people who memorizes like detailed descriptions of what happens or writes that kind of thing down. In fact, there's someone who actually likes to comment with those kinds of details. So if you want to know about like the details, then go down to the comments and look at that all you want. But anyways, first off, the chefs are woken up early to carry in seafood shipments. I thought this was kind of strange because it felt like, I don't know, it was weird. Because it felt like a punishment. It felt like this would have been the perfect punishment for a challenge. But no, they just randomly, all the chefs had to get up early and do this. That was the first weird thing in this episode. And 2 chefs hurt their backs from doing it. They aggravated their backs. And, it was hard to watch, actually, because, doing that kind of work and even, working in the kitchen, it's really tough. And I couldn't imagine, like, having back problems and doing that, even like for cooking like a meal, like I'll get some lower back pain sometimes, like cooking like a complicated and long meal, just from doing all that exercise and lifting and blah blah blah. So then the chefs have to make seafood appetizers. Hilariously, Anne-Marie comes up with a dish that's just like the one that they already have on the menu. I thought that was funny. And I thought it was good on Michelle for pointing that out and helping her. This is the first time, really, that we have seen the sous chefs interact with the chefs. Like, that there was no moment in the first episode where we saw them, like, get to know each other or anything. But now, finally, Michelle, she did do a good job at, like, helping steer her in the right direction. So first off, they have Battle of the Oysters. Egypt and the other girl tied. And, yeah, that was surprising to me because the preview for this episode made it look like Egypt was the devil. So they made it look like he was just going to be the biggest pain in the ass the whole episode. Like a Jason. You know what I mean? Then they had a lobster battle. Sean is still having back pain, which you can tell visibly in his face. He looks uncomfortable. And he did something really weird. He put the lobster on these greens or something, and so it's like he put it on a salad. And I thought that was really weird. That was definitely not something that I would be interested in eating. That kind of reminded me, by the way, of, remember that bad dish from Hell's Kitchen where that one chef grilled the Caesar salad or whatever, or cooked the Caesar salad? Like, that's what that reminded me of. Because it's like, who wants to eat like hot, like a hot salad? I don't. I really don't. The other girl, though, she did prosciutto wrapped lobster, which I thought that sounded pretty good. And she obviously won. The next battle was squid, which, I've never had squid before. I would like to try it if it's like a really good dish, but this dish did not look good. It looked terrible. It was like, Magali Sahali completely fucked up the crab. This episode could have been like a redemption episode for her, but instead she's just kind of meh. Like, she made that mistake, and I can't remember, like, I think in the dinner service she made a mistake, so, like, they didn't really show any, like, redemption arc with her. She just kind of stayed mediocre the whole episode. She's definitely going to be going home pretty soon. And by pretty soon, I mean probably next week, because this season is going to be super short uh, because of reasons. And then finally, I think that this is the dish that sounded like the best one of the night. Citrus prawns with gnocchi. That sounds really good, actually. The scallops girl goes last. She was the last one for her team to go up, and she was the one who almost made the dish that was like the one they already had on the menu. And she actually won. And that was surprising. She did a good job. And then the red team won again. And once again, I'm telling you guys, this is a repeat of season 22 with some worser chefs. I mean, not all of them, but like, God, some of those guys on the men's team, woof. Just woof, woof. The men, and this was very upsetting because I knew you got those two guys who are in horrible pain, and they have lost the challenge. They're screwed. And so they have to unpack and clean all the seafood. It's very upsetting because you know that these two guys are not feeling well at all. And so then immediately Sean, he dips out. He's got to go to the hospital, which was very, very sad. No one should have to leave Hell's Kitchen this way. That's what I got to say. Like, they really should have like another redemption season pretty soon so that he can return possibly. Along with, you remember that one guy? You know, that one guy who had some kind of a mental problem or something? You know, the one that Gordon got mad at him for using a notebook during service or something? Like, I think that he deserves to come back too. So, yeah, but the one thing that I didn't like, though, is that Hell's Kitchen, when they went to commercial, they did this weird thing where they, you know, at the hospital, they have like a heartbeat machine monitor thing. They showed that as like a visual with Hell's Kitchen logo in it. I didn't like that. I thought that that was kind of in poor taste. I mean, the guy didn't die, so far as I know, but I still thought it was really in poor taste. I didn't like that. The other back pain guy, and I'm sorry I don't know his name, the two back pain guys, the other back pain guy barely could focus, and he quit too. And all I could say was, geez. And I said, Gordon can't send anyone home tonight, LOL. His season just got shortened. And it's like, yeah, well, actually, he surprisingly does send someone home. And it is someone who screwed up in the challenge, too. So, the first mistake of the night is a burnt pizza on the women's team. I thought that that was another bizarre turn of events, you know. I mean, how do you burn a pizza? It's so easy to cook. Like, I cook, and this is something, like, I cook frozen pizza once a week, which I'm not bragging that I cook it. I put it in the oven. But usually I put it in there for 13 minutes, and lately it's been feeling like it's a little cold for me. And so I've been putting it in for 15 minutes or 16. And it's like, it turned out fine. It turned out like perfect. And I feel like, how do you burn a pizza? That's just ridiculous. So then, as I said earlier, the guy who screwed up scallops, for some reason, the men's team thought that it would be smart to put him on the scallops again and on the seafood, which is really weird. Again, this was a weird episode. This was a very weird episode, and that was a weird choice. It just shows the men's team has a screw loose. Like, they put the guy who screws up the scallops on the scallops, and guess what? He screws them up again, and I think he screwed them up another time after that, and then the seafood was once again overcooked, and then undercooked steak too. Just what a disaster. The men's team did not ever really recover. They just kind of stayed trash the whole night. the blue team, the men's team, I don't know why. I don't know why I wrote down the blue team. It's the men's team. They had to actually go over and apologize to the famous people table, or one of the famous people tables, because of how bad they were. And I felt like, this is very telling, because this is episode 2. This isn't like it's like the middle of the season. It's like, oh no, they did that one bad thing. Oh no. This is episode 2. And they already had to go do that. And then obviously the red team won. The men's team cannot communicate. You got a bunch of guys who think that they're alpha males, and they just can't communicate properly. So it's not really a team, it's just a bunch of individuals. So Corbin, who was the scallops guy, and Egypt, the other seafood guy, are nominated to go home. Corbin gets sent home, as I predicted. I thought, Egypt wasn't as bad as they made it seem like he would be in the trailers. So I knew that he wasn't going to go home. I knew that because they relied so much on that marketing that probably he would not go home. It would be the other guy. So I would give this episode a B. It was a weird episode, and it was so weird that that they had to send someone home, a third person. I mean, the men's team is crippled at this point. They sent a third men's team member home. Like, I feel like next week, and now I'm making a prediction. Don't kill me because I'm making a prediction. I am predicting that they are going to have to combine teams somehow. Gordon is going to have to, and probably, if not next episode, then the next episode after that, because maybe another guy will go home. I am predicting that the men are going to have to accept like a couple of women or something like that, like to combine teams so that it's more fair. Because like at this point, they are crippled and they're going to have a hard time. So yeah, I think I already said I gave this episode like a B or a B minus or something. It was a weird episode, and this is like only like a 12-minute video. It's like, yeah, that's what you get when you have a weird episode. So please like this video and comment and tell me what you thought of the episode, and then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more Honest Hell's Kitchen reviews. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.